Warm welcome and a heartfelt namaste to all of you. I, Anuradha Sharda, would like to thank all of you for your views, for your liking the videos, sharing the videos, writing in your comments and suggestions, and letting us know what you would like to see in future. Today, we are going to make our video on two dictums of Sir J.N. Bhasin sir. He has been a pillar of astrology just like Seshadri Ayerji. Seshadri Ayerji's dictums have been very useful in understanding the divisional charts, and we have made a series on that. So if you haven't watched it yet, please go ahead and watch them. For now, we are talking on two dictums of Bhasin sir, and his books are very popular, especially for the beginners who will get a lot to learn from them. Two such dictums are what we are going to apply here to understand how to analyze a chart, how to analyze an horoscope. So, the first dictum that he gives is about separative planets. What are the separative planets according to him? Saturn, Rahu, and Sun are the separative planets. How do these function? Saturn, which is an airy planet, is also the planet of detachment. So, wherever Saturn is aspecting, at that particular juncture, Saturn causes detachment. Sun is a planet that has a lot of heat, light, and it has a lot of power. So wherever Sun sits and exerts its power and aspects, wherever it aspects, it gives a lot of heat and literally burns that area out. So Sun causes burnout and causes separation. Wherever Rahu is aspecting, Rahu, as we all know, is the planet of illusion. So wherever Rahu sits or aspects, it creates a lot of illusion, hullabaloo about that entire area. And as such, when this illusion dissolves, what is left in hand is just disappointments. So the fear, the disillusion, all of it, when it is gone, we are very disappointed to the core. We're very upset, and somehow that thing leaves us, or we are cut off from that thing, person, place, whatever. So we need to check out in the chart. This is one part of the. This is the first dictum. This is one part. So let us take a chart and see how the first dictum, which is as per J.N. Bhasin sir, says that out of Rahu, Saturn, and Sun, when two or more planets throw their influence on a particular house, then the native is separated from the traits of that house. For example, if Saturn and Rahu are aspecting, say, the 10th house, okay, and they're also aspecting Mars, in that case, it is a finality that such a person will lose his kingdom or his job, his profession, his profile can be very much under consideration, under turmoil. And even if he does not lose his job permanently, there would be frequent changes in his job due to the factors that I have mentioned above. Now, if they are aspecting the first house, what happens? In such a case, it is about the identity of the person. The first house, the Lagna, is our identity. So the person can be undergoing a change where he's always trying to discover his identity. Self understanding may become important, or the person can also be undergoing a lot of change in life, such that he would be evolving into a totally different person altogether at different junctures in life. If the second house is so afflicted, then in such a case, such a person can go away from the family, can move away from can be cut off from an early education, can be a problematic. If such a person can have very low moral values, because again there is a dictum in classics which goes by the name of Jeev, Mool, and Dhatu. Jeev means the living person, Mool means the very basic things which are have very limited living abilities, and Dhatu means things which are not living. So it could be money, when we're talking about mool, it is about our character. It can be about our moral fiber in case of second house. And when we're talking about the jeev, it is talking about our family. Then in the third house, it can cause discord amongst the brothers or sisters. Siblings can have a problem. The person can have issues with neighbors or friends. In the fourth house, mother can be a person to reckon with. Mother, familial ties, securities that is offered by the family can be a little strained. Talking about the fifth house is love affairs, and fifth house is also children. So person can be separated from children, can be separated from their fifth house of love affairs also. You can find this combination in the chart of Rekha, actress Rekha, who's a veteran actor, Indian actor. And in her chart, Saturn and Rahu aspect her fifth house, which we all know that uh, she does not have children, nor has her love affairs sustained for long. Sixth house, such a person, in fact, this malefic combination aspecting the sixth house can have problems with your employees, or it can have problems in your work ethics. In the seventh house, this is, we all know, definitely hitting really hard on your married life. In the eighth house, such a combination can have a problem with in-laws, and on a larger extent, it can also reduce your inheritance to a great deal. Ninth house can take you away from religious activities, or you can always be at war with your superiors, especially your gurus, your elders, and your father. And in the 10th house, again, it hits on your job, directly on your profession. We will see how it works in the case of Albert Einstein also. In the case of Albert Einstein, we have seen that from the 10th house, as Sun and Saturn aspect the fourth house, there is a movement away from home. Since the 10th house also has a benefic, which we will be seeing taking up in the later case, see that his 10th house remained intact, but the fourth house was diminished. And we move on to the 11th house, directly related to finances, regular income, and Sun and Saturn and Rahu, if they are aspecting your 11th house, it's a given that you will have problem in sustaining your regular income. Sun can make you spend a lot or can burn out all that money before it actually grows for you. In the 12th house, it can take you away from happiness of married life. It can take you to ashrams where you may not feel very comfortable about, or your money can be spent in a very wrong manner. So we see how these malefics will be working in all the charts, in all the houses. Let's take a look at it. As we take the example here of the two malefics, Sun and Rahu, sitting in the fourth house for this person. This person has very cordial relationships with his mother. The mother is a very bossy person. Mother has a lot of problems and is a controlling person. And as such, they have been, his family has had to move out of the familial home and have had to stay away from the familial home. Again, we see that this entire thing happens in third house of the natural zodiac, which is all about siblings. This person again does not have good relations with his siblings, but is forced to take responsibility of the siblings. Let's not forget Mars, the karaka of siblings, is sitting right there. Vijay Mallya, Rahu and Saturn sitting in the 10th house. Constant change in his profession. He has had his pies fingers in a number of pies right from the time he started working, be it Kingfisher breweries. It can be so many other companies, Formula One racing, so many companies that he's been a part of, and yet he's always kept changing his profile. Finally, Saturn in its Mahadasha now, towards the last part of it, has taken him to shores afar, foreign shores, because Saturn is also the ruler of the Lagna, and it is also the ruler of the 12th house. So such a Saturn has taken him far off. We will see when the Mercury Mahadasha comes as the 8th Lord is in the 11th house, it might bring in a different picture altogether for him. Now we come to the second part of the dictum. Again, before we move on to the second part, let us check the chart of Albert Einstein. In the chart of Albert Einstein, you see Sun, Saturn, and Rahu aspect his fourth house, which is a very strong combination because, as per Basin sir, he had mentioned that at least two of Sun or Saturn and Rahu. Here, all the three are aspecting, and we know that he had to move away from Germany. He had to move to US because of the World War II and the Nazi regime. But how is it that if they are aspecting from the house of profession, how is it or why is it that his profession has gained a lot of strength? Well, so we are moving to the second dictum that I was talking about. His profession has had a great strength because if there is a benefic influence on that house or the house lord, in spite of malefics being present, that house will still prosper. So the benefic influence can be of Jupiter, it can be of Venus, it can be of unafflicted Mercury and unafflicted Moon. In the chart of Albert Einstein, we see that the Lord of the 10th house is in the 9th house, strengthening the place in itself because Jupiter is the Lord of the 10th house and it forms the Dharmakarma Adipati Yoga. Apart from that, the 10th house has a very strong influence of an exalted Venus, which is also the 5th lord of celebrityhood, 5th lord of intelligence, and the 12th lord of international name and fame. So Albert Einstein was able to hold on to his career and get a name and fame that made him the father of modern physics, in spite of there being two malefics present there. We will take a regular chart here where we see that Saturn, an exalted Saturn, along with Ketu, sits in the 10th house and aspects the 7th house where Sun is placed. So there are two malefics which are aspecting the 7th house. And that makes the 7th house, and there is a debilitated Mars sitting there. So that makes the 7th house very prone to disturbances. There has been disturbances for this person, but luckily for her, a retrograde Jupiter aspects the 7th house. And Jupiter, let us not forget, is also the 12th lord and the 3rd lord. 3rd lord denotes the bhagya of marriage. Though this Jupiter is debilitated, it is Cheshtabali and it is retrograde. So it does give separative influences as the lord of the 12th house sitting in the Lagna and aspecting the 7th house. But this person's married life is saved because this Jupiter is aspecting it, and this Jupiter made sure that the person and her husband did not stay together for a long period of time, as the person's husband works in a job that takes him away from home for a long period of time. So we can see that how a benefic influence can go a long way in strengthening a house even if there are malefics. So when we are analyzing a chart, we need to see separative planets, Rahu, Saturn, and Sun, if they influence a house, and we need to see if there is a lord of any house aspecting that house, and also if there is a benefic aspect. Now the viewers can have a question about the chart of Albert Einstein. You can also see that Mercury is aspecting its own house. However, this Mercury is debilitated, and though it did take him away, it gave him a secure home in the US. 1. 2. Venus is also the lord of the 12th. So what does it do as a separative lord? As a separative lord, this Venus took him again from home, but gave him international name and fame, and gave him a home away from his own home, and a very good home, secure home at that. So when a planet aspects its own house, and also if there are benefic aspects, the karakatvas of that house will be good, but a separative influence will definitely create certain amount of problems. So we see two things that we need to consider: separative influence and benefic influence, and how to read them together in analyzing a horoscope. Till we meet again, stay safe, stay happy. Thank you.